The game that made us men. Let's get into it, boys.
Are you a man? Strong, stoic, hot? No,
I
not that
mean,
men are hot. If you
sometimes.
said yes, what if I told you there's a game where you can grind, hustle, build discipline, and the hard men that played this game
This game makes me rock hard.
from an early age, they became pretty monstrous.
I like to get a bunch of men together. Men that are the hardest of the hard. And I want to be with these men.
We're just getting a taste of them. I'm like, I'm tired of getting a taste of them. I want the whole load.
Busted ass hands here.
It's all good. They'll be busted on your face.
This is awesome.
It'll be fun.
I'm gonna eat everything you got.
Stay fucking hard!
I didn't know where else to put the
Stay hard, always go harder. Let's
gay
go,
Sigma
boys.
male edit. So there you go, first minute. RuneScape. But not just any RuneScape. Old school RuneScape. That right there is where the kingpins of society were made. Andrew Tate, casino owner, sex trafficker, sociopath. RuneScape taught him.
Get him. Yo, I gotta say, this video deserves way more views than it has already. Like, I already feel like this is so well done already. It's fucking hilarious.
David Goggins running 500 miles on broken feet. Oh, he just worked really hard. No, it's because he played RuneScape. He probably grinded a skill to level 99 in the past, all right? Compared to that, this is...
There ain't nothing harder than the RuneScape grind, and that's for real. Just kidding. But it is impressive when, you think about it, that people put, like, getting 99 in a skill in RuneScape is actually shows, like, that you're committed to things and you can get shit done.
Is nothing. RuneScape isn't just for men.
I think actually, like, going back to the, like, getting 99 to me shows that, like, you can set goals and you can reach those goals, and I think that is huge for anything you do in life. And it actually can be really beneficial. I've learned so much playing RuneScape. Like, I'm gonna talk for a minute. Just growing up playing RuneScape has taught me so many life lessons, and I don't know if he's gonna go into any of that stuff or not. But, like, I learned, like, in school, like, I learned more from RuneScape than I did in school, like, when I was younger, too. Like, I learned, to make, steel, you had to use iron and coal, and then, like, bronze is, copper and tin or whatever. Things like that. And, like, history teachers be like, how'd you know that? I'd be like, RuneScape? Like, or, I learned how the stock market works with, the GE, or even just before the GE, just selling and trading things high and low. So there are a lot of things, or like how to not get scammed, because getting scammed is still a thing, I believe. I see people trying to do anyway. I don't know. I'm sure there's some kids that are new or whatever that still fall for free trimmed armor and stuff like that. Or back in the day, I had to grind and grind and grind to make money so that I could save up for a rune scimitar just to get scammed out of it, because I was so excited to get it that I didn't realize the person took the rune scimitar out while I was spamming accept, 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 and then I was like, oh no, I lost all my money, stuff like that. So yeah, there's a lot of cool shit that RuneScape's taught me, and there's a reason why I still go back to it all the time. But it's such a fucking fun game.
It creates men. For me, my RuneScape journey started when I was 8 years old. You might have been even younger when you started. And from an early age, this game taught us lessons that we will carry with us for the rest of our lives.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I think
When
the
we were kids, we didn't
discipline one's huge.
scroll TikTok to get instant dopamine. We clicked a tree for 50 hours.
Not gonna lie, woodcutting was my first 99 I ever got, and I got it literally by only cutting yew trees by the GE when that first came out, and then when they added the ivy, then I switched over to ivy and Yanel, and that's pretty much how I got 99 woodcutting, my first one. And then cooking was easy. Like, I think I got 99 cooking like a week later or something like that, just cooking the lobsters and then swordfish and then shark all the way to 99.
And earned that dopamine. This was work, okay? Coal miners? Try mining coal rocks in the barbarian village for 12 hours a day.
Or power mining, let this go real quick. Power mining iron. That was the play.
That is real effort. You had to source your own pickaxe, bank your coal when your inventory was full.
Yo.
And guess what? In RuneScape, each ore rock only contains one ore. So when that rock has dried up, you have to click.
And it was even worse in like the first version of RuneScape, where you only had one pickaxe type, and you had to click like use pickaxe, and then click use on ore every single time. You couldn't just click on the ore, so even this is better.
Click on another one.
What more do you want from me?
An IRL coal miner, he's finding a rock and lazily swinging at that same rock all day. That's not effort. That is being AFK. You know how slowly this mining level climbs? You think it's as easy as clicking on a rock and doing something else on your computer? No. When you're mining, you're paying attention. And if you're not, you're wasting XP. People say time is
no
money.
XP waste.
Slap those. Oh my. Time is XP. This game isn't made to be fun. RuneScape isn't like all those other baby games. For example, you're playing BioShock. Takes you, what, 10, 12 hours? And, oh look, you're done. Game's finished. Easy ass dopamine. Congratulations, bitch. Nothing changed. You just enjoyed media. RuneScape is suffering, pain, boredom. You don't enjoy RuneScape. You earn. You earn RuneScape. All right? It's just something you have to play to understand.
RuneScape is a dog shit.
It is very true. Like, you have to play RuneScape to understand like why people love it so much. It is because it is like probably the most grindy game, but it's also got the highest skill ceiling. It's also got everything for everyone. So like, it don't matter what kind of gamer you are, there's something in RuneScape for you. Like, you can AFK everything, do everything the super slow, less effort possible. And then if you are someone that likes to be completely focused, engaged, want high dopamine, fast engagement, you can go boss, you can go do one ticking every skill. You can make the game as easy or as hard as you want, and there's so much to do in the game, and there's so many goals that you can have for yourself, and it's going to take you like a couple of years if you're fresh to the game to probably do everything in the game. It's going to take you at least probably like 10 years to do everything, because they're constantly always adding new stuff as well. So you will never run out of things to do in RuneScape. And even if you do run out of something to do, or you want to restart, you can always make a new account and start from scratch again and put limitations on yourself. There's literally endless ways to play this game.
It game for losers. Okay? I've never played RuneScape.
In RuneScape, you'll
People
have
that
a
don't
goal
never
in
play
mind.
don't
Let's say
understand.
you want your herb lore to be level 70. Herb lore is basically a skill where you make potions. Level 1 herb lore starts at 0 XP. And to get to level 70, you need 737,627 XP.
It's pretty fast though. 70 Herbler really isn't that bad as long as you have the money. It's just really expensive. Because if you just make potions or whatever, it goes pretty quick.
There's not that many ways to train this skill. In fact, the only method worth doing is making potions.
Yeah.
So you go ahead and buy the supplies needed to make the potions, and then walk.
You don't. What was that guy doing? Why would you do it that way? You don't get any experience for make. Wait, maybe you do. I don't know. Do you make experience? I can't remember, because it's been so long since I've like made a potion from scratch and not just buy the unfinished version. I don't remember. I believe you don't even get experience for that. It's just a money maker. So yeah, you just use the unfinished potion with the herb or whatever you need for it, and that's that's the way I
because
do it.
this is what you'll be doing for the next few hours. Yeah, look at the three of us all playing RuneScape. Having a great time. This guy's blowing cock. You see that little number? That's how much is.
It's actually crazy to me that so many people that aren't like Iron Man that still do glass blowing. I mean, I guess it is super cheap, but there are other like just making gold like diamond bracelets or something like that. There is I don't know. I mean, it's not as AFK, but I feel like it's still a little bit better than just glass blowing. But if you want more AFK time, I understand. But if you want to make money, I would switch over to the diamond bracelets.
Being added to the XP pool on your journey to hitting this number. Get ingredients, make potions, number goes up. Content. Sure, hitting level 70 might only take a couple hours, but 2 unbroken hours doing this is very different.
I actually like. I'm not gonna lie. I love doing that. For whatchamacallit, the log one for the lunar spell where you just make planks, the plank make or whatever it's called. I actually enjoy that one for magic experience for when I don't feel like, using magic in combat. I actually do that, use that one a lot.
To 2 hours doing anything else. Literally anything mentally stimulating. It is legitimately
Adventures log, day 13. I
It's
thought
so
I was a bad
crazy
enough dude to do the Hunger
seeing
and
all
Thirst
these
challenge on
WoW and
Ascension
like
WoW.
RuneScape
torture, but
commercials
it builds
anymore.
character. Now you might be thinking, sounds rough, but only 2 hours for level 70? The max level is 99. I'm already over halfway there.
No.
Wrong. You don't even know. The XP needed to get to the next level grows exponentially. So from level 1 to 2, it's 83 experience. From level 2 to 3, it's
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is like you can get if you play a decent amount per day, you can hit like base 70s in every skill. Pretty much, it takes like 1 day in each skill. Like you can get level 70 in each skill in 1 day if you like do it somewhat, efficiently. You don't have to be completely efficient, but like just doing things like in the right order to where you're buying the right items and using the right items to get the max amount of levels while also not being stupid and overspending. You can get pretty much every skill to level 70 within 1 day, as long as you put in like about 10 hours or so that day.
91 experience. From level 70 to 71, it's 76,000 experience. By the time you're in the level 90s for any given skill, the next levels take hundreds of thousands of XP. This is what the chart looks like for XP needed to hit level 99. In any
92's
one
halfway.
skill, that 2 hours it took you to hit level 70 Herblore is about this far in. For how much experience is needed to actually max out a skill, you're not even halfway there until you hit level 92 out of 99.
It is what it is, boys.
There are 23 skills in this game. There are thousands of people that have hit level 99 in every skill. That takes 13 million experience, but you can keep going. The experience stops collecting once you hit 200 million XP.
Those people are completely insane, the ones that go for that.
Are 52 people globally that have achieved 200 million experience in every single skill, which comes out to 4.6 billion experience gathered on their accounts. Some skills are faster than others, but generally across the board, 200,000 to maybe 300,000.
And this is why I always say that like there is the end game in RuneScape is pretty much the whole game, because there's no wrong way or right way to play the game, and you can do end game content at like 80 combat stats pretty much. Like there's no reason you need to have max combat in order to get to end game. You can wait that until then if you feel more comfortable, but there really isn't a death penalty anymore in RuneScape. Besides, like, you may have to spend a little bit of gold to get your items back from the Reaper or whatever. But other than that, like, there's no, or if you're a hardcore Ironman, obviously you don't want to die. But if for a normal account, speaking of, there's really no reason to just go try something. And if you die, you die, and you just pay like 50k, or whatever, 500, 200k, depending on your gear or whatever, and get your items back. And then you really didn't lose anything except for you gained a little bit of knowledge about what you need to do next time. So, like, there really is no end game, middle game, or early game in RuneScape. It's just the whole game is a sandbox.
Experience per hour is considered a very good XP rate, and a skill like runecrafting with the very fastest method in the game getting you 100,000 XP an hour. I mean, try getting 13 million experience that way, let alone 200 million. I mean, the game designers themselves were not expecting people to do this.
So next thing we looked at was XP, and this is your average XP. So if you've got better levels than this, you're better than average. Strength is 64. I'm quite surprised any of these got this high, quite frankly. Attack.
Those are like the lowest. Like, this is what people still consider like early game a lot of times. Or like just getting into mid game, like these stats.
60, and to be honest with you, runecrafting being at 25, I expected that to be lower as well. I think that's a bit higher than I thought it would be.
Call it mental illness if you want, you'd definitely be correct, but that doesn't matter. You want to talk about grinding? Shut the fuck up, Sneeko.
I've never cried before, chat. Put me if you've never cried before, men don't cry. Chat, shut the fuck up, stop, no.
This is grinding. But you know what? It has to be this way. If getting levels in RuneScape was easy, then we'd just play a game that doesn't look like shit. Getting that level pop in RuneScape hits different because it is the mental equivalent of dragging your nuts through scorching hot coal filled with shards of glass. It's the same appeal as Dark Souls.
Now there are some skills that are kind of boring as hell to train, but as long as you have like a YouTube video or something up while you're skilling, it makes it a little bit easier because you distract your mind from the AFK-ness going on in the other screen.
Holy shit, I actually did it feeling.
Souls no hero!
That's
But
true
while
too.
Dark Souls tests your skill,
Honestly, pairing is way too fucking easy in this game.
I can get behind that.
I pressed the button! RuneScape tests your fucking sanity. That is real discipline that this game instilled in us from day one. After a few hundred hours of getting levels in RuneScape, studying, exercise, it's all too easy. We still don't do it, but you know, it's easy.
Yeah.
If you've ever attended a lecture on economics, even just asked a self-proclaimed economics expert on anything to do with money, you fucked up. You wasted your own time.
School's a waste of time. It is a waste of time. Now we are a byproduct of the GOVE, whatever, gov, right?
Bruh, these are the people giving financial advice? Are you kidding me?
I don't even know how to spell that shit.
Oh, but you were so close. Tell me more about finance. This shitty Java browser game taught us more about economics at age 10 than an economics major could ever hope to learn with 3 degrees. Why? Because it's rough out here. Back in the day, if you didn't have the levels to get certain items yourself, you had to buy from players that did. You'd go into a densely populated area and exclaim, "Buying lobsters, 100 GP each."
Hell
and
yeah.
some guy would
Yeah, I was
approach
talking
you
about this earlier.
holding those lobsters.
Yeah, I was talking about this earlier, where you would have like in Varrock or Falador, where people would just be all together, and and those were like the trade areas before the GE existed, and flipping runes and stuff back then. It was so fun.
You're saying 120 each. Then you would both barter on a browser game. That was the RuneScape trading experience. And if you were the seller, you'd quickly learn that selling your items meant trading for a lower price than your competitor, taking customers away from them, using text effects to make your advertisements noticed over others.
Man, I miss that. Like, I don't think you can still use the text effects, obviously, but like you don't really see it as much unless there's like some kind of riot or something going on. But man, I used to love like just even AFK fishing or something, like lobbies in Catherby back in the day, and people would just like do it for fun and stuff, or they'd make like little they'd make like a police car chase with it, and then like have it so it scrolled across the screen and it flashed red and blue and stuff, and it, you know, they made it look like a little cars driving and then like a police car. Oh man, it was so fun. People are so creative back in the day.
To less populated worlds, but not so underpopulated that you don't have a big enough customer base. Niche items needed for certain quests would go for outrageously high prices simply because many people just didn't know how to obtain those items, or they just couldn't. If you are a lower level, it was hard to even source items.
I still kind of do this sometimes where like if I'm doing a quest, I'll say if I need like a bucket of milk or something, even though I know I could get it somewhere else, it's just way more convenient for me to just get everything at the GE, even if I know where I could get it for free or something. And I'll like put in like, you know, I'll put in like, I'm buying the milk for 2K or something like that. And then so that way it insta buy, so I don't have to like just redo it next, you know, just in case it's not going for the normal price or something. So I'm that guy. I'm one of those people that do that.
Items worth more than a couple thousand gold. But there were alternatives to making money as a noob. Taxi services, for example, where somebody would throw you 100 gold, click the follow option, and you would walk to the next city that they're trying to go to. It saved them a few clicks and gave you some gold. Another method was hopping worlds looking for drop parties. Events that rich players ran where they would drop a bunch of expensive items in a populated area. I'm not kidding. These things were just events where they would
Do they still do those? Like, I know some people still do them, and like clans have their own drop parties and stuff, but like you don't really see like I mean, maybe in free to play they still do it for fun, but you don't see them as often like in the actual Falador like party house.
A bunch of money at the pool.
Although it could be a dedicated world, I'm not sure.
Oh, and let's not forget the dancing for GP motherfuckers. These were the crack whores of Gielinor. Back to the player-run economy for a second. God forbid you're a new player not knowing the street price of an item, coughing up ludicrous amounts of cash for items that you didn't even know you could get for much less. You're 11 years old reading, "Trust me, bro, you won't find cheaper," behind Varric fucking West Bank. As you fork over the 10,000
getting straight scammed
GP you earned over the last 2 weeks, only to find out a day later that the same armor set is being sold for 5,000 gold somewhere else. Before the advent of the Grand Exchange, a centralized place for all item transactions, knowing the real value of an item is something you learn through experience. And even after the Grand Exchange, the market could still be played. Sure, it became practically impossible to take advantage of new players, but it forced players to be much more in tune with supply and demand.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Just like those losers on Wall Street flipping stocks, the losers on Runescape were flipping boss weapons, patiently waiting to get items at a lower cost and upselling to impatient.
Yep, there's a lot of people that do that. I had a friend that he like flip stuff all day long, where he would always like try to buy it as low as possible, and he would keep like little spreadsheets and stuff, his own spreadsheets, and like, you know, he'd be like, all right, he'd watch like all the trends, and like he'd always make bank. Like he was so good at the GE stock market.
Players that just wanted to pay more to get their items immediately. And that's just the basic stuff. These players would go deep into new bosses or quests being added to the game and how that would affect the price of certain items. Buying up massive reserves of items that are cheap, knowing that a bot nuke was incoming. After a few years on RuneScape, you were basically an expert on supply and demand. Fuck the stock market. GE Tracker is where the real money moves are made. And before you say, wow, all that for some virtual gold in an MMO? No, man. I'm talking about legitimate business. RuneScape GP is essentially a cryptocurrency being exchanged for real money constantly and having decent worth. Actually, the entire Venezuelan economy hinges on killing green dragons.
Yeah, that was huge. I don't know if that's still a thing, but that was huge when that was happening. And it's crazy that like their money was so bad, or their situation is so bad that they were playing RuneScape and selling RuneScape gold in order to like just survive. Although like it is frowned upon, and technically you can get banned for selling gold. But it is funny though. There are a lot of people that probably do make absolute bank selling gold.
I'm not joking. RuneScape gold goes for about 50 US cents per million. Correction, that's how much it went for in 2022. Since then, the price of gold has plummeted heavily. You'll see in a second why that's still a lot. For now, do me a favor and pretend that it's still 2022. Thanks. On RuneScape, there's a money-making method that's pretty accessible to low-level players: killing green dragons. Venezuelans in particular are known for using this method, and it'll net around 1 million GP per hour. If we assume a 40-hour work week, that's about $20 US per week, meaning about $80 a month. The average monthly wage in Venezuela is $30 US. So even if we adjust for my massively overinflated number, it still comes out to an above average wage in Venezuela. Definitely not making close to what they were making a couple years ago though. Yeah, in some countries, RuneScape is paying people's rent. Don't ever tell me that
That's crazy, isn't it? Like, just to think about that, like, and then people want to complain about America and how bad America is. Like, we're so privileged. The stuff that we bitch about is so meaningless, and like half the stuff people are crying about on Twitter and stuff is like, they're not real issues. There's way bigger issues in the world than some of the things that people cry about.
RuneScape's economy is not real. By the way, I'm making jokes, but this is a serious situation, and a video game is saving lives here. RuneScape is providing a decent and stable income for people that otherwise wouldn't have it, and somehow a portion of the game's community still finds a way to take issue with it, hunting Venezuelans to PK or leaving comments like this. What are you, a fucking supervillain? From what I can tell though, the majority of the RuneScape community feels for the Venezuelans. They're not disgusting freaks like Icy Syllabub 7444, which, if you're watching this video, Icy, I've got a drink I want you to try. On the topic of money, let's talk illegal money. I
do think that some people go a little bit too fucking far with like hating like bots and stuff like that. Like, bots don't really change that much in the game. Like, if anything, they probably actually are the only thing keeping the fucking game going, if you want to be real.
About, and no, this is not a joke, the criminal underbelly of RuneScape.
So let's say you have to read an incredibly long email from your boss that you have to finish before the big meeting starts.
Now, there's a pretty big meme in the RuneScape community about trimming armor. There is such a thing as trimmed armor. It's a pretty rare type of armor that you can only get as a member.
It really fucking annoys me, and I hate it so much. I hate it.
Now, as kids, we were free-to-play players. Keep in mind, this was like 06, 07. The internet was not very useful back then, but again, we were kids. Gullible as fuck. Essentially, trimmed armor was a rumor to us free-to-play players. So when some guy wearing expensive-looking gear comes up to us and says, trimming armor for free, of course it worked.
Yeah, I put on this a little bit earlier, but yeah, it's so fucking funny how like people fall for that stuff, but like you never know, because there are some people, and I think this is what happens, that some people are genuinely nice in the game and will give you free stuff, but then there's other people that kind of use a similar tactic as the actual legit good people, and then they'll freaking just take everything you have. Another one that used to happen a lot was it would be like doubling money, or like you trade me an item and then I'll give you something of better value back. And they would do it until you give them something expensive. Like they'd start with something like small to get your trust, and then they'd wait till you get something, you know, expensive, and then they'll log out. You'll never see them again or your item. There's a few like crazy ones that people would use besides just this. I don't know if he's gonna go
Every
into them or not.
time you'd trade over your armor, gleaming with excitement, awaiting that trade back with your newly
That's how it
trimmed
was,
gear,
yep.
only for
Stoked.
Poop Demon 54 to type LOL before blocking you and logging off with
Hello, bye noob, get wrecked.
not just your items, but your dignity. This was one of many.
I remember when I got, like I was saying earlier, when I got scammed on my Runescape avatar, man, I got so, like, I didn't play for like probably 3 days after that because I was just so like heartbroken because I spent so many hours killing cows and selling the hides to a guy named Cowhide Buyer for like, I think it was like 200 GP, or yeah, I think it was like 200 GP per hide or something like that. So it was like 20k per 1,000 or something like that.
Scams. Doubling money was another one. Somebody would be advertising that they're doubling money. You would trade them 5,000, and then in a separate trade, they would give you back 10,000. Then they'd say, trust? Okay, now 20k, because they wanted you to believe in the legitimacy of their business, which on paper is the dumbest business model ever. I mean, it's quite literally give me X money, I'll give you 2X money. Fucking Warren Buffett over here. Whoa. However, because of how obvious this was, doubling ended up being a bit more like a gamble.
Oh,
Everybody
so he's talking
knew
about doubling
it was
now,
a
okay.
scam, but the play was how many trades could you get out of this doubler before logging off and taking the extra money?
Yeah.
And the doubler is thinking the same thing. I say everybody, but the first time you run into this scam, it works. And some doublers just had silver tongues, man. There was a reason this scam was so popular. Speaking of gambling...
Yeah, and there are some times where you can outplay the doubler because they get a little too greedy themselves. So, like, it could work in your benefit, but, like, most times you're gonna get screwed over.
Did you know that RuneScape is essentially a medieval-themed casino? Yeah, for example, there's these things called mithril seeds that create a random colored flower when planted. Essentially,
oh, the
you'd
flower
place
game. Oh my god, dude. I almost forgot about the flower game.
a cash bet. Put your guess in for what color would come out, and oh look, it's the wrong color. Get fucked, loser. Some colors were rarer than others, and that of course meant bigger payouts if you guessed correctly. These weren't the only games. There were also dice sets and the duel arena.
Yeah. Good old duel arena staking. It's so crazy that it's so sad that like the real world trading stuff ruined all the like the actual in-game staking and all that stuff.
10 on 10, please, crap.
What just happened? Whoa.
The duel arena is a big deal to gamblers. You were able to put up whatever stake you wanted going into a battle with another player. Whoever wins keeps their stake and takes the enemies. These tended to be either straight up fistfights or fights with minimal gear. No food, no potions, almost no anything that would involve player skill in any way. The point of this was not to outplay the other person
Just
and
50-50.
win a duel.
It was literally a 50-50.
It was a straight up 50-50. Coin flip gambles on insane amounts of gold. I am talking...
There was actually like a strategic element-ish to it, to where it wasn't, there was like, I remember there was like a formula to where you would know like, that you should win this next time because you've lost so many or a certain amount in a row or something like that. So then you were guaranteed a win in the next one or something like that. Like there was actual like stuff. And again, one of my friends, the same one that was like in the stock market thing, the GE flipping, he was really good at staking where he knew like when to go big and when not to go big.
Mind-boggling amounts of in-game currency. This is a streamer called Odablock. Hugely known for staking, gambling at the duel arena.
Oh my god, that's the biggest one I've ever had! Oh my god, man! 84 bill to win!
He did it with massive amounts of gold, and he borrowed GP from his chat to gamble with and lost it over and over. At a certain point, he was down 258 billion GP borrowed from his chat.
I legitimately think from how much stress
Good
I
old.
went through for that debt, I went bold.
Sounds like a big number, but let me put into perspective how much that really is. That is over 300,000 US dollars, all gambled away in an online game.
Not that much.
Now, Odablock did end up paying back all that debt to his audience by gambling it back.
The last stake ever of Otis 258 bills has been paid! Congrats, bro. I don't own nothing! I'm debt free!
But I wanted to emphasize the scale of gambling that we're talking here. Thousands of real-world dollars being gambled on every day. And where there's money involved, there's organized crime. Clans. Clans ran massive groups of gambling bots, ran huge stakes, ran gold buying websites that handled real transactions. Oh, and they also ran the Wilderness, a massive area in Runescape where player killing is allowed. Giant groups of people that would roam the north of Runescape, and guess what? These clans would have all-out wars against each other, making their money by pillaging the bodies of their fallen enemies. Yeah, these kids had fucking turf. Children had turf, running virtual gang wars.
GKing back in the day went so fucking crazy, even in free-to-play.
At the lava maze. This has gotten way off topic, and to the average player, you only ran into the occasional scam. You know, guy logs off with your gold, maybe you got sweet talked into going into the wilderness, that sort of stuff.
Lured.
But once you've been scammed,
I actually saw people trying to lure the other day by like a drop party form. They started in the GE. I don't know if any of you guys have seen this yet, but they'll drop like items in the GE, and then they'll have like one guy waiting in the wildy or whatever, and then they'll like another guy will run down through the tunnel and up into the Edgeville like wilderness line, and then there'll just be a bunch of loot inside the wilderness is dropped, and everything's like around 200k or more, but yeah, that was pretty crazy. Just seeing it again
5 times, you've learned your lesson. The lesson being, you can't trust anybody but yourself. I'm serious. It might sound like a joke, and it is really funny, but this game taught us as kids to be way less gullible.
Walk in for all your favorites during Little Caesar's Summer of Hot and Ready, like a thin crust pepperoni pizza for $7.99.
When I say RuneScape is just real life, I'm joking, but I'm not joking. Grinding these skills takes real discipline. Making money through player-run markets takes real economic knowledge. And yes, getting scammed on this game was really a valuable lesson. I'm speaking from personal experience. I lost my bank to a wilderness lore once as a kid. It fucked me up and forever changed the way I interact with strangers. Dude, I'm telling you, when that shit happened, I was staring at my screen in disbelief. I added the guy and like begged for my items back. He just replied with lol. Keep in mind, he sweet talked me for like 20 minutes before that, convincing me he was a good guy. Shit changes you, bro. Life is not easy on the streets of Varric. I'm just glad I learned that lesson from an early age over virtual gold. Yeah, RuneScape currency is real currency, but I never had enough for it to be real currency. All in all, as hilarious as it sounds, RuneScape is the training wheels to life, or at least it was. The duel arena is gone. A huge portion of the player base is self-sufficient, meaning no player trading. The people still sticking around are really just playing the game. Yes, this game as a game,
it's like the trading aspect, like just all through the GE I mean, it's made it probably better, but like the social part of it is completely gone. And then, well, I mean, there's still a lot of people that just stand at the GE and talk bullshit or try to sell their website bullcrap or whatever for real world trading or whatever it may be, just trying to scam people. But then there's also like even just skilling. Like it's very rare to have people talk like skilling because everyone's kind of just AFKing and watching videos, and you may be watching this video AFKing right now. But like, yeah, like it is crazy. It has become a very like solo experience in a way, unless you're in a clan or something. But then at the same time, like a lot of the content is very soloable, so like you don't really need a lot of people you don't need people to do any of the content in the game. Even the raids are solvable if you get good enough.
Is really just for sociopaths. But dude, I'm telling you, the golden years between 2006 to 2010, that's where men were made. Anyway, hope you found that interesting. I wanted to make this video understandable to somebody that hasn't played RuneScape at all. So if that's you,
like, I didn't even mind RuneScape up until like 2012, like RS3 version, because before they added old school, I didn't mind some of the stuff they added. Like, some of you guys may, you know, differ on this opinion, but like the only one I didn't really like was summoning. That was the only one. But I liked dungeoneering. I liked the whatchamacallit, what was it? The divination. I liked when they added archaeology. I think that was a little bit later though, like 2015 maybe for that one. Because I went back just to try it, and I actually liked archaeology a little bit. But there are some good things, and I actually do believe that RS3 is actually turning into the right direction right now, personally. I think they've been doing really good things, and I think they have a bright future over there on that game as well.
You like my content, subscribe.
Yeah, and if you like this content, you know, subscribe to me as well, and like this video and leave down your opinions down below, and as well, give this guy a like and subscribe, which I need to do myself, because that was an amazing video. Freaking went super hard.
Please,
and
God, I'm
this guy
so
is
desperate
so
for
good.
you to subscribe. Click the button. All right, bye.
All right, yeah, and with that, see you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.